wait till your ass is gone. You narcissistic. Low management.
Robin, Sports and Fitness Rants. Greet
Yes,
the people.
sir.
How you doing this morning?
I am doing fantastic. Once again, shout out to L Explicit coming through with Bubble in a Cup. Shout out to everybody that continues to support our live streams. It is great to be back on another Sunday edition with my man, the Czar of Video Footage, AOH. You guys know, shout out to everybody that's already coming through in the chat, man. Dakota Lariat, Renee 43, Chris Garcia, The Real Siberius, Rock Stefani, it's DW32, Mick Zuggins, Cameron MCOC, my man Animaniac, shout out to Mike Lowry, Infamous Sneak Attack, Calvin Hart, Nemo LA, Eric P, Armando Ruiz, Calvin Hart, Chase 1738, Hamza. Shout out to all you guys, man. Damn, that's what I'm talking about. And you guys know the deal. You guys know what to do, baby. Let's roll.
Who is Dakota? Did Dakota come over from your channel? He's somebody got him fired up about FYF. I'm assuming that's you.
Oh, maybe so. Shout out to Dakota Larrett, old school NBA fan, Choi Black. Shout out to all you guys, man. Thank you for always coming through and supporting.
And yes, shout out to L Explicit. That was a great song, great video even.
Yeah, I mean, great lyrics, man. If you listen to the lyrics, if you actually really listen to the lyrics, I mean, they're all facts. It's right on the money. It's all the things that we're talking about in a song. So like my man AOH just said, shout out to L Explicit.
So I'm going to do, just because I have unfinished business from a couple of songs that I brought up last time, I'm not going to play the songs this time, so I don't have to go back and remove them. I had to go back and remove the music last time. But I mentioned The Edge by David McCollum. And he actually had the guitar riff that Dr. Dre used for the beginning of the next episode, which I'd never known before. I can't believe it took me this long to learn about that.
That's crazy. I know that either. Once again, educating me out here.
Another one that I found really interesting is a jam called Rise by Herbie Albert. And right in the middle of it is the bit that Big E used for Hypnotize.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it waited until the middle of the song to drop that. So if I hadn't just been listening to like a funk station, I wouldn't, while I was working out, I would have never even gotten to that part of the song.
Yeah, shout out to AOH, man, out here educating us with the music history. We talked about borrowing from the other greats and things of that nature. I see a lot more people coming in. Once again, shout out to my man Heath Overledger for coming through. Like I said, thank you to all you guys, man. King Speech Roll, I see you out there, man. Movie King, the Jesse Glad Saget, Go Fly, what up, man? 68, thank you very much. I appreciate your comment. Coco Hoke, what up? Untamed Scribe, thank you very much. Like I said, you guys are true supporters, man. Scissor Plays. Shout out to all you guys, man. Leo Sakari.
Funk and 70s rock was the foundation for hip hop and rap. It was good, no matter what it did. I enjoy it. I think I was born in the wrong decade.
I mean, you know, it was funny too. I remember the Wu-Tang Clan was a very popular group in the 90s when I was growing up, man. Shout out to Wu-Tang Clan. And they used to always have little clips of like the old Kung Fu movies. You know, the Wu-Tang Clan Kung Fu movies and some of these movies that we used to remember watching growing up. And it's so funny. Like, like I said, my dad used to have a lot of these movies. And I remember watching them and then all of a sudden listening to some of their rap songs later on and being like, yo, it's crazy. I remember some of these parts from some of these old Kung Fu movies.
Dakota says, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. Yes, goodbye, Ozzy. Although he hasn't been with us in many ways in a long time.
But that's what made those. I mean, listen, you talk about back in them days what these guys were doing. Like I said, that's what made them who they were. These guys were out there rocking and rolling, partying, man. Like I said, living on the edge, like the song goes. But yeah, so rest in peace to him.
Tika says, I thought blues started it all. I'll go with you. Like just about every music documentary I listened to references blues. They're like, oh, we wanted to take blues and do this with it. And yeah, I agree with you. Blues is always in there.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about blues and like that Motown sound. You know, when you talk about someone like Stevie Wonder, who you were mentioning in that last live we did, you know, he's known for that Motown sound. You know, Motown was known for a certain sound. You know, with the artist and you know the music that they were promoting on that label.
Heath Overledger mentioned Enter the Dragon. Yeah, man, I'd like to have been alive when that shit was in the theaters.
Word, Enter the Dragon. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the old heads are being old, just warming up the Sunday morning. And, you know, to all you fanboys that are going to join and drop this bomb on us. Oh, my God, they're talking about LeBron. Let me steal your thunder. We're going to talk about LeBron. Just like all the other channels that praise LeBron, and you have no problem with it.
That's funny.
But yeah, good job for calling us out, for doing what we absolutely fully intend transparently to do. Roland Curtis with the super chat. Robin, I love it when you read these. Go ahead.
Yo, yeah, shout out to Roland Curtis coming through. All you gave LA was a bubble in a cup. ... bum exclamation point. Player, king of the flop. Yeah, he do it a lot. A king ain't a king if his crown ain't righteous. You the GOAT on the team with the worst plus minus. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, shout out to my man Roland Curtis for putting it out there when you talk about the lyrics. Like I said, you really listen to what my man was saying. Shout out to you guys, man, for real. My man L Explicit.
No, that's exactly right. I'm sitting there listening. I'm like, damn, this song's fucking hitting it.
Yup.
So, hey, do you got any? There were a couple of supers that I've noticed coming through chats. I think we should start reading supers that we've gotten on our channels over the week, unless you're already doing that on your channel. But you got anyone you want to shout out in particular before we roll forward?
No, I actually think that's a great idea, AOH. I think going forward, that is definitely something that we should definitely do. I usually just, respond to the supers in my videos, by usually thanking people before my videos, in my intro, and responding to the comments that way. So yeah, I think absolutely that's a great idea.
Yeah, there's a couple that I know we didn't read last week, but I'm old and my brain is shit, so now I can't remember which ones were which. So there goes that plan. I got to type it right then and there. But hey, super grateful for everybody with the supers, and a big apology if I didn't read them. And I got to start reading them from the videos I put out in the week too.
Yeah, I mean, I just started a segment not that long ago. Once again, shout out to everybody that comes through my channel, the membership, and people that leave the comments in the membership. I just started a segment like a lot of other channels or similar channels do, where you try to, read the comments and respond to the comments. And I just started, like I said, a segment, reading off some of the comments from the members in particular, in videos and stuff like that, and responding to them and reacting to them on the video. So like I said, once again, shout out to everybody in the membership and all the supporters, man. Thank you guys.
I'm gonna jump to a topic that you made me think about, because you sent me a link to a video of a young guy. I don't want to call him a kid, but yeah, he was pretty much a kid, but he was reacting to one of my videos, and I got to thinking, this trend of LeBron not being the king anymore and people turning on LeBron, I started wondering, how many of these are legit ex-LeBron fans that are turning? And, that's very encouraging to find out that that's possible. How many of them are just pretending to be ex-LeBron fans in order to hop onto a trend? Now, those you LeBron fans out there that don't like us, who have never liked LeBron, well, I liked him until he started doing LeBron things, like 2008 and 9, 10, obviously 11, it was impossible. And, has not improved since then. But if anybody's paying their rent by pretending to be an ex-LeBron fan and riding a bandwagon of turning on LeBron. That's who you should be mad at. But maybe it's all legit. Maybe people are waking up. What do our viewers think? Are you guys seeing the same trend? Are you seeing all these, ex-LeBron fan sees AOH for the first time, or sports and fitness fans, or sees a Jordan clip for the first time? And if it's the first time you're seeing a Jordan clip, there's a pretty big part of the problem.
Yo, AOH, that's interesting take. I didn't think about it like that. Or when I sent you that clip of the guy reacting to your video and how he was basically saying like, man, you can't argue with the video footage and some of the things that you were pointing out. And like you said, I never thought about that. Yeah, I think there is something to be said, because there is you can get a lot of views, if you're doing reaction videos, quote unquote reaction videos. That say there's a fan base for that. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a channel that is a quality channel like your channel, and you put your name out there, or you put your content out there, and you're reacting to some of these bigger channels, or some of this content, then absolutely, I think, like I said, some of these people have really witty things to say, or their reactions are comical, and whatever the case may be. So they're able to garner a certain following doing this. Like you said, this person ends up getting more views, doing a reaction to your video than you get on your original video. So absolutely, I think there is an angle there and a point that you're making.
Yeah, we got mixed reviews in the comments here. People going both ways. And somebody just got off of X. Yeah, I don't know why. I could never get into Twitter, dude. I could never get into Twitter, and yet it's like huge. How do basketball players have time for Twitter? How does Kevin Durant have so much time to respond to people on Twitter? And I know I'll piss off a lot of people, but I really would rather that the president of the United States wasn't fucking on Twitter all goddamn day. I mean, don't you have something else to do? It's just not inspiring. Hey, be more like us old heads that don't have time for that shit. But
I mean, listen, I agree with what you're saying. And, when it comes to these social media platforms, shout out to my man Go Cast Hoops in the chat, man, for coming through. I always felt like I've never been on Twitter, so I'm not speaking from someone who's been on there before as like a user or experienced person. I've never been on there, so I'm not speaking in terms of, no one should ever be on it or any of these things. My whole outlook on social media has always been, I've never been able to maintain several avenues or several social media platforms simultaneously. So, for example, I got into Instagram not that long ago, but the only reason why I got into Instagram was because of, my job, essentially. I was a trainer. I was working at a certain business, and, the guy that I was working with wanted me to reach out on these platforms to try to garner some business. So I was on Instagram for the necessity of business and those purposes. So when I started the YouTube channel, it became almost damn near impossible for me. I'm talking about for me personally, guys. I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm speaking for anybody. For me personally, it became almost damn near impossible for me to manipulate and run my YouTube channel for whatever it is. Not saying that I have a huge YouTube channel and this is, like I said, my full-time job and all that stuff. That's the whole point I'm making here. Just to even live my normal life, go through my normal life and everything that I have to do in my normal life, and maintain a YouTube channel, and worry about Instagram, and to be on top of that, worry about Facebook, or to be worried about Twitter, or to be worried about some of these guys have a Patreon and all these other platforms and avenues. I can't maintain all of this stuff. That is insane to me. And the thing about Twitter that's really crazy sometimes, and I know it's not called Twitter, I think it's called X now, or so whatever, but it's like people are putting like their every single 1 minute reactions out here, in the public space when no one gives a damn. No one needs to hear this stuff. Just go about your life. That to me is just crazy how people can maintain all these different platforms at once.
Yeah, I finally had to just choose YouTube, and I actually it's not like YouTubers are particularly intelligent, but I feel like, people in the chats are saying Twitter is a cesspool, but like Facebook was just like some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. So yeah, I had to choose one, and it's YouTube for me. Stebby says, "Did you see lifting weights?" Who, KD? I hope he didn't post a video of himself lifting weights. Did you didn't? You didn't say who you're talking about.
WJ, yeah, I'm not sure who he was referring to on that one.
Oh yeah, I know why I talked about the Twitter thing, because they were talking about these players today that during a game are fucking checking their Twitter accounts. Come on.
And like you said, people are just saying, their every 1 minute kind of thoughts. Like, as you go throughout your day, no one needs to hear, or know what you're feeling, what you think about every single topic in the world. Like I said, people are just always posting stuff all the time now. It's like, I remember some years back, it was getting kind of ridiculous with everyone posting picture of their food. I was like, what's going on here? Why is everyone posting picture of their food? And I remember like seeing like some of my cousins doing this stuff, and I'm like, wait, what are we doing here? Like, think about this from a perspective. I remember growing up, like I said, back in the day, there's the perspective that I'm coming from, that there was commercials, from the African children and how they had no food and how hungry they were. And I remember it always being like one of those running things, in society where they would always say, oh, don't waste your food because there are people out there that are starving. There are homeless children out there. And I would always think about those commercials, man, with those kids. Those are the first kids I thought about when they used to say those kinds of things. Now, fast forward all those years later, we had people posting pictures of their food, of what they're eating. Oh, look at my food. Look at this. They're going to pay $100 for this food, and they're not going to even eat it. They're not going to eat the damn food. And here you are posting this stuff on social media like a bunch of goofballs. Meanwhile, there's people in other countries that are dying for something, anything, and they can't get nothing out there, man. This is what I'm saying. We're not living in reality, man. We like a bunch of idiots out here sometimes, man. We do goofy, stupid stuff, man. We out here filming our food and nonsense, man. You got people out, whatever, man.
We could have a completely separate channel, because I got to tell you right now, I'm restraining myself. When you start to go dark, I'm ready to go darker, and I'm just going to stop, because the whole rest of the show would just be us bitching. Because I agree and then some.
It's crazy, man. I don't get it sometimes, man. Like I said, it drives me insane, man. It really does.
I don't know how.
Slow down.
I'm just gonna have to start polling people if they just want to hear us talk about the old days. McZuggins, a great supporter who also brings some great information to the channel, bets $20. He says LeBron becomes the leader of league critique this year. Always swaps narratives just before tipping points. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, he critiqued the 3-point shooting right before going out and chucking up another 9, making 3 for 9 the next game. But he'll tell everyone what's wrong with the game and then participate in it. Okay, so Stebby with the super chat clarified. She said, "Did you see LeBron lifting weights?" No, I mean, is he putting out another workout video?
I told you, a lot of LeBron James workout videos, the things that I've seen him doing, like I said, it's all fluff and buff routines. Like I said, the LeBron James, like the biggest promotion when you talk about health and fitness, and you guys know that I'm into this kind of stuff, man. The biggest promotion that you have is yourself, right? And the things that you can do and the things that you've done, what you can say, listen, this is what I've done. This is what I can put behind, that I did this. This is what I'm showing the results here. LeBron James, the best thing that he could have did to promote his fitness, his training, all the regimen that he's been doing, is he could have been like, yo, look at how many times I played 82 games. And I know that we harp on this a lot. And I think sometimes people don't really understand. But that would mean a lot. That, like I said, that gives you something tangible that you could turn around and say, look what LeBron James has done. This man has been out there every single night. Also, we talk about the lack of effort from LeBron James. So not only do we question your effort consistently on both sides of the ball for many, many years now, you've never went out there and played all 82 games every single season, consecutive seasons. Never for LeBron James' career has he played 82 games consecutively. To me, that shows you some level of durability, some level of grit, because yes, it's hard to do that. It's not easy. No one's saying, yeah, it's going to be easy, LeBron. It's not easy, man. But the training that LeBron James talks about he's been doing should have enabled him and allowed him to go out there and do that. So we would have been like, yo, this dude was out there for 8 straight seasons playing 82 games. No one's saying LeBron James should have never missed a game in 22 years. No one's saying that at all. But you've never once played 82 games for consecutive seasons in your career where you could turn around and be like, yo, this dude was out there giving it the effort on both sides of the ball, man. Come on now.
Yeah, and this is redundant, but it's making me think about Jim's assists video, and also a video I'm working on. LeBron's first game at 40 and Jordan's first game at 40, and you know, LeBron skipped a game for his birthday. LeBron skipped a game for his birthday. Jordan didn't do that shit, and it's like, oh God,
How many games did Cal Ripken skip? Cal Ripken ain't skipped no damn games. And what did they do for Cal Ripken? They celebrated him. They celebrated him for being an Iron Man. And why did they celebrate Cal Ripken? And why did everybody to this day still recognize and honor and respect Cal Ripken for the Iron Man that he was? Because Cal Ripken did it the right way. He went out there and earned it. He didn't shortchange the game. He didn't shortchange himself. That's what I remember from Cal Ripken when I was growing up watching the game of baseball, man. So once again, when you talk about what these guys were doing, and it's another sport, obviously it's baseball, it's not basketball, but I'm talking about why they honored him the way that they did, because he went out there and did something, like I said, that no one else could do, and the record was honorable because the guy that he beat to get the record and the way that they went about these things was honorable. LeBron James going out there, like you said, lollygagging on the court, missing games for no reason, talking about you have the healing abilities of Wolverine, and you sort of LeBron James of foot doctors, but then you use that same foot excuse to miss games the next season. It can't be both, man.
Just to, statistically speaking, consider how much you increase the odds of you having a bad game when you play every game. And you play while you're uncomfortable, while you're hurt, while you're tired. I mean, if you really stop and think about how that affects the odds of you hurting a streak, because now we're happy about a 10-point fucking streak,
right?
Or one season that LeBron averaged 10 assists but missed 15 games. You know, you just can't. I don't know how to properly put into words how important it is, because I shouldn't have to. How's that not self-explanatory? You take time off whenever you feel like taking time off, and you don't think that that increases the odds of people having good games more often? Of course it does. On the other hand, these guys who take too many games off end up hurting themselves because they're not in fucking shape. I mean, people who complain about playing in an all-star game obviously don't have the mental toughness or willpower to be keeping themselves in shape even when they do miss games. I want to read Mrs. Shanny before we get too much further. Or you can if you want to. You're able to see this? Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. Shout to Mr. Shanny of Coming Through 82. I've been thinking about a new nickname for LeBron. Currently, he's the Lion King. I like that. But I've been thinking about the janitor of the distinguished old gentleman. I actually like that one too, given all the sweeps and gentleman sweeps in his career. Yo, shout out to Mr. Shanny 82 for coming through. Always, yo, you guys, bravo.
Yes, excellent. Thank you for that generous super. And I actually missed one from earlier somehow. Casillas, I don't know. Says, my dad was born in 69. Says Magic is the best Laker to ever live. Nothing matches Showtime. He can't watch LeBron Lakers. Yeah.
Yo, who was that? Who was that? Who said that?
Casillas. Let me try and find it to put up there. Caassillas. It's a lot of A's, so I have no idea.
Oh, yo, shout out to Casillas for coming through with that. Yo, I like this comment right here. Much respect. Shout out to your father, who was born in 1969. Magic Johnson, a Showtime Lakers fan. And I have no problem with your father saying that Magic is the best Laker to ever live, man. The way that Magic Johnson galvanized the Los Angeles Lakers, like you talked about the Showtime Lakers, the swag of Magic Johnson, the charisma of Magic Johnson, the impact and what he meant to the game, and his overall, yo, shout out to Magic Johnson and shout out to Casillas, no doubt.
A couple more supers to read. Leo says Kevin Durant is a noodle-armed freak. Yeah. I was really wondering if he put out a video of himself lifting weights. That would have been something. Oh man.
No, that's funny, man. I'm telling you, man. Listen, Kevin Durant, like, there's a lot of pressure on Kevin Durant this season, man. I don't give a damn what anybody say. This man's under a lot of pressure. He got all the talent that he's got surrounding him in Houston. Like I said, the Houston Rockets are one of those teams that they're talking about. Oh, you got Kevin Durant, then that was all you needed. The pressure on Kevin Durant, man. I want to see what this man can do because this man ain't done a damn thing since he left Golden State. There's no excuses.
The real Donald Trump 1646 with a Canadian $2 says Angel Reese has better footwork than LeBron James. I wouldn't know. I do not watch the WNBA.
Listen, man, that's pretty sad when they saying Angel Reese, has got better footwork than LeBron James. So shout out to on that comment. Because we talked about LeBron James out there on the basketball court, stumbling and bumbling. That's the name of the game when he's out there, man.
Speam Engine came on for a separate show and just told me that Reese is not good, simply not good at basketball. I don't know whether that's true or not, but if she's even bad in the WNBA and her footwork's better than LeBron's, then that makes that diss even worse.
I mean, listen, I would never even claim to know anything about the WNBA. I've never watched it before. Like I said, the only thing that I know of is the highlights. And from the highlights I've seen of Angel Reese, that's part of people, laughing about her lack of footwork and skills, her work around the rim. So, yeah, a shout out to anybody, like I said, that watched it, but I don't know.
And it's not sexism. There's only so many games I'm going to fit into my schedule to watch. So I'm not going to be guilted into watching something I was already not going to watch. But, maybe I would have given the WNBA more of a chance if it hadn't been such a blatant attempt by ESPN to get us interested with drama. I was like, okay, now I'm really not going to watch this shit. There's enough drama in the NBA. You want me to come over for more drama in another sport? No. I mean, that definitely backfired with me, at least. Co-Biff, read it.
Yeah, once again, shout out to my man Co-Biff for coming through. These kids today with their immodest dancing, reefers, hot jazz, and weak basketball, Charles Oakley needs to snatch their big orange purses. Yo, for real, man, like I said, he said they're big orange purses.
That purse.
The fact that we even have to say something like that is insane. This is where we are right now in society, man. We got dudes out here wearing lip gloss and purses. Like I said before, when you think about these purses, guys, and let's be real here, let's be serious, as adults, everybody, grown-ups in the room and stuff, man, all right? I want to know, what are you carrying in this thing, man? I've been walking around this earth, guys, for almost 45 years now. I've been walking around this earth, man. And a lot of these years I've been walking around as a grown-ass man, an adult, man, right? And I'm trying to figure out, what the hell do I need this giant-ass bag to walk around in my everyday life? It's insane to me. Can anyone tell me what they're carrying?
Oh, man. What was the worst? What was the worst diss on fashion back when Dr. J and such were playing? Bell bottoms? I mean, I'll take bell bottoms over men carrying giant orange purses any day of the week.
Yeah, platform shoes. Guys, some of them dudes just wear some of them platform shoes and the disco era and some of this stuff. But like you said, man, there's a certain style and swag to these things. I told you, remember, it's a combination of things. It's not one particular thing that we're talking about. Because remember, it's not just these guys are carrying purses, right? We all know, come on, this is insane. But it's how these guys move when they're carrying these purses, how a lot of these guys walk, their mannerisms, how these guys speak. And like I said, you see how a lot of these guys act during the games. They act soft. They act like a bunch of women out here, man. They're emotional. Look at how someone like Kevin Durant is. He's emotional. These are emotional responses. Like I said, Kevin Durant is damn near 40 years old. He's like 37 years old. He's been in the NBA a long time, Kevin Durant. And he's still doing some of the things he was doing when he was 22. 23, remember them years, all them years ago, Kevin Durant with the burner accounts. Now he said, F the burner accounts. I'm not even going to hunt anymore. I'm just going to come out here and act crazy. So you did the opposite of mature in the reality of the world. Instead of being mature and being above these kinds of things and be like, yo, I don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. I'm Kevin Durant. If people think I'm a fraud and think my MVPs are frauds and all stuff, then whatever. They can be right and they can have a point. But I'm not going to let this stuff bother me. I got other things to do, man. Instead of taking that route, you decide to let everybody know it is you, put your name on it, so to speak, and come out here down to the YouTube streets, come out here to the streets of, some of these other platforms, the Twitter streets, so to speak, and say some nonsensical stuff. And see what Kevin Durant does when he gets insane is he likes to make personal attacks. And it doesn't make sense to me because once again, I asked Kevin Durant, do you know these people that you're tweeting against? You have no idea who these people are. But the reality is, Kevin Durant, these people know more about you than you'll ever know about them because you're a public figure. So whatever you've done in the public view, your NBA basketball career, and people are critiquing you and, saying whatever they say, even if they're making fun of you, or maybe they're being hyperbolic in some of these situations, or they're overblowing a scenario in your eyes. Once again, the points and the facts remain, but Kevin Durant shouldn't feel the need to be out here, like I said, acting, doing these things.
We got some support for the Old Head channel, and including a super chat from the Real Siberius, who says, I would fully support an Old Head complaining channel. Sign me up, or hell, I'll start it myself and invite people to join and go dark. Well, I tell you what, we'll talk about some basketball here because that's what we're supposed to do, and then we'll turn back to getting angry and dark. Let's see. Let me let's read Praise the Dawn, and then I'll go with at least two topics that I have on the schedule. Praise the Dawn says it's laughable LeBron fans call him the GOAT when he isn't even the GOAT of his own era. That title belongs to Wardell Curry. All right. Well, that worked out great because I'm actually going to talk about Curry. I can't even remember what show I was listening to. Maybe it was The Odd Couple because they have at least one old head on there. But the show had two main components. It was Steve Kerr showing some humility and saying, without Steph Curry, I would have faded into oblivion, or I would have just been another coach. Good for you for having humility. Even if it's not true, even if he is the coach of coaches, this is better behavior. This is more inspiring behavior. Give the credit to, and he's really blessed to have Steph Curry. Sadly, Steve Kerr bent the knee during the Olympics with his LeBron D sucking. So I can only be so pleased with anything he says, but I will, let's jump on to the second part. And that's that they said LeBron isn't going to get or is getting resistance with ownership. But if Steph Curry ever wanted ownership, the owners club would welcome him with open arms. And I thought that was really interesting. It's almost like, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Steph Curry would get a seat at the table, so to speak, versus LeBron?
Well, if LeBron James tries to start his own damn basketball league someplace else, then why the hell would the NBA give an NBA basketball team LeBron James, man? LeBron James,
Fair.
like I said, when you talk about LeBron James possibly starting another league, shout out to my man Jordan versus LeBron out there in the chat, man, for coming through. When you talk about LeBron James, like I said, trying to get investors. Now, listen, this is a process, ladies and gentlemen. I remember this show Ballers that HBO used to have. And with Dwayne Johnson and a bunch of people, man. And there was a part in that show where he was trying to get a team, move a football team to Las Vegas. And you're talking about the process and all the things that have to go your way and all the help that you essentially are going to need, all the money, things that you're going to have people to sign off on. You're going to need like governors and mayors and all these politicians to okay all these kinds of things, man. And whatever the case may be, man, I don't know the details of this stuff. But if that's the case, why would the NBA want LeBron James involved in any kind of ownership in any of their teams? Now, I know I've heard LeBron James rumored before to possibly want to invest and own a team because we all know he wants to be like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan owned a team. And people could talk about Michael Jordan owning the Bobcats and the Hornets and, saying it was a failed venture or they never won anything. That may be true. But once again, Michael Jordan changed that franchise and the value and the money that Michael Jordan made off of that franchise, what he did for it, raised the value of it. You can't be denied.
Yeah, we have a pretty long list, you and I, of reasons that NBA ownership or the NBA shouldn't be thankful to LeBron James. We always say the league has done more for LeBron than LeBron has done for the league. But then we get confused because then you turn around and hear people saying, oh, LeBron's done so much for the game. So when you have those confusing storylines out there, I never know what to expect. You know, money's the bottom line. If owners can be swayed by money, maybe LeBron could get an ownership position, even if they don't like him. But now trying to start a competitive league, I mean, you've got to lay down the law and be like, no, fuck you, buddy. That's the last straw. Steph Curry's the exact opposite. Wardell. He's been very quiet. I know he hasn't been perfect, but man, is that guy, in comparison to LeBron James, has just had a nice, quiet history of success.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, getting fucked over quite a bit of the time.
Yeah, absolutely, AOH. I mean, listen, the only thing I can think about in the opposite directions of what I just said, as far as why would the NBA give LeBron James a franchise? Yo, shout out to my man Uncut Hoops. I don't know the comments that he's talking about with Austin Rivers. Yo, Uncut Hoops, man, type in the comments, man, the comments, offensive bag. But when we talk about LeBron James, maybe the NBA would offer LeBron James a franchise or ownership in a franchise to not start that other league, because that would benefit the NBA immensely.
Right. If you're doing a lot for the league, then say, hey, no, don't support this. You got to make the NBA better. Let's preserve the NBA. Look what the NBA did for us. Let's show some gratitude and give back to it. Nope. Got everything I could take, and now I'm going to take even more. Praise the Dawn says, KD pull up on the McDonald's bandit low, though.
Yo, shout out to Praise the Don. He's talking about that dude Legends of Winning. Me and him have a slight, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it YouTube beef or whatever, that we got, me and that dude Legends of Winning. So I didn't even know that Kevin Durant. See, once again, Kevin Durant, he goes up on people, man. Like I said, he goes out there in the YouTube streets and all these other people, man. I'm waiting for Kevin Durant to roll up on me. Once again,
he rolled up on someone at McDonald's?
I don't know the story. I don't know. I'm reading the comment. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know who they're talking about when they say low. So like I said, I don't want no physical beef with Kevin Durant. That's not what this ever's been about. It's never been personal. But if he wants to come up and debate or to have a conversation, or once again think that I'm not going to say the things that I've said on my videos to these people's faces, it's insane for these people to think this. Because once again, in my mind, I'm coming with the facts, man. I'm living in reality. These guys are not.
Import says, Love Parasite extracts from his NBA host. I like that. It is not a there's no homeostasis there. It is not a mutually beneficial relationship. It is an absolute parasite taking away from the host. So Uncut Hoops is encouraging us to speak about Austin Reeves. I actually listened to a little bit of it, and quite frankly, it sounded 90% like Austin Reeves sucking LeBron's dick, and it got turned into, Austin Reeves, spoke against LeBron James for like saying that he didn't have a bag across all shooting platforms or something like that. But then he turned around and just like sucked him off relentlessly. So I was just like, I'm not fuck Austin Rivers, but I don't know. Go ahead. What Uncut, tell us what
he said. Austin Reeves, right? So Austin Reeves,
Austin Rivers.
Oh, Austin Rivers.
Yeah, another suck off podcast.
Oh, I don't know if I heard the exact clip about his comments, but I remember Austin Rivers and something that he said recently that I wanted to talk about. And I completely forgot what it was now. But yeah, I'm not too familiar with what he said.
All right. Well, I'm not. You're not going to be able to talk me into playing the clip, but you know what? We'll. You know what, guys? I think
if he's talking about LeBron James' overall bag, man, and he's saying that LeBron James is not like that, then you're absolutely correct. You know what I wanted to also mention? In the same kind of realm is a lot of these guys, or some of these guys talking and in some of this kind of stuff. Oh, okay. So Uncle Hoops is saying that he basically just bulldozes players. Yeah, absolutely. You know, these are some of the things that we were talking about. Then he's telling the facts. You know, unfortunately, like we said with a lot of these guys, they're not consistent, man. So yeah, they might have a great take, they might be accurate on something, but then you hear them say something else, and you're like, why are you trying to now sugarcoat something or trying to backtrack on some of your words, kind of like what some of these guys do?
That's interesting that KD, by the way, didn't even deny the burner accounts. So that's like not even a debatable thing now. That's just acknowledged.
Yeah, I pretty much understand that like that was the whole thing, is that he got caught using burner accounts, and that was part of Kevin Durant. And like I said, I thought that was part of the growth for Kevin Durant that we were supposed to acknowledge. But Kevin Durant's never been there. Like I said, we talk about him leaving Golden State. There was supposed to be some level of growth from Kevin Durant when he left Golden State, but instead we saw him morph more into a LeBron James-like player. He became more of one of these guys that was injured often, but not really injured. Like I said, just always having these nagging things that you thought that these bigger, stronger athletes could play through. Because remember, Kevin Durant is a basketball god. You have to understand, when you talk about yourself in a certain manner, when you start putting that kind of target on your back because you speak with that kind of bravado, then that's great. That's fine. But then you got to go out there and back it up. That's what I'm saying. If you want to walk the walk, you know what I'm saying, or talk the talk, then you got to go out there and walk the walk, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Muhammad Ali, people talk about Muhammad Ali. They try to be like him. They can't talk the talk like him because he was talking the talk and walking the walk, man. He was going out there. He wasn't ducking dudes. He was standing up there doing his thing. These guys are out there not being competitive. They're out there crying and moaning, asking for trades. These guys are a bunch of goofs, man. I remember when they were on the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. I remember they were talking about how they don't need no coach. Remember Kyrie Irving said, we don't need no coach. What do you mean we don't need no coach? You guys are like a bunch of idiots. Then all these years later, you doing a podcast with Steve Nash and LeBron James. But I thought y'all didn't need no coach. And you're over here trying to give Steve Nash some flowers. You guys sound ridiculous, man. Did you not see the awkwardness between Steve Nash and Kevin Durant when they were talking about the Brooklyn Nets time? It's laughable, dude. You requested a trade up out of there. You're a straight clown.
I thought the Nets had better chemistry before they brought in Harden. I was really disappointed when they brought in Harden.
And remember, they had the Cleveland Cavaliers coach right now, the guy Atkinson. He was the coach of the Brooklyn Nets when they were bringing these guys over. When Kevin Durant was coming over, remember he had to sit out that year and all this stuff. And he came over to the team, and he had Kyrie Irving to come over there. They got rid of, think about how many coaches they had. They had to get rid of that dude for what? Like you said, the Nets were actually ascending when Kevin Durant went there. They were on the way up. They had a young core there. That's why they were able to make these trades. They got rid of a lot of young talent and players and draft picks to get these fools.
I never really got a good conspiracy theory answer for why Steve Nash got hired. Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, like I said, Steve Nash got hired, and there was a lot of people that were against him being hired. And the sad reality was, instead of guys like Kevin Durant and the Kyrie Irvings backing up Steve Nash, understanding he was a first-time head coach, and this was a new opportunity for him, and he was getting this opportunity where some people thought that maybe it was a white thing because there were some other more qualified black coaches that didn't get that opportunity. I remember guys like Stephen A. Smith talking about these things on ESPN. But instead of those guys embracing Steve Nash, because let's represent and respect Steve Nash for the all-time great NBA player that he was. Nope, we're going to go out there and laugh at Steve Nash. Kyrie Irving disrespects Steve Nash at every turn.
Well, if the only thing Steve Nash did as a coach was say, that's amazing, then he probably didn't bring very much to the table because that's all he's doing on the podcast. So King Speech Row pointed out in a super that LeBron isn't even the best player from Akron. And some people in the chat asked who is the other one. And I think it's interesting. It's actually not very publicized that Steph Curry is also from Akron. And now that I think about it, that's probably not by accident. Like, because the whole Akron kid and LeBron's like supposed love and loyalty to a place that he's fucking abandoned twice thing. Don't you find that interesting that it's not common knowledge that Steph Curry is also from Akron? Or am I wrong? Is it common knowledge?
No, I knew that. I like you said, I do not believe though that it is common knowledge for a lot of people. Let's remember that Steph Curry's father, obviously Del Curry, played in the NBA, played for the Cleveland Cavaliers for some of those years. So I'm assuming that's when Steph Curry was born.
Great point. I had one other topic before. Today's going to be a caller day, I think. You down with that?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Let's get some callers in.
Let's do it. Yup.
There's one other topic, and someone was asking why a Tim Duncan isn't in a GOAT debate more, or considered one of the greats more. He is by some people, but I have to thinking, is it a problem for them that they aren't loud, that they aren't mouthy? Like, some of us like that they're quiet, but in this day and age, like, do you need to go on a podcast and say something fucking stupid to get people talking about you and then get a narrative going that, oh yeah, maybe we should be considering him? So I guess it's a multi-tiered topic I'm bringing up here. How much credit do you give them for continuing to be quiet? Other people that come to mind are like a David Robinson, who was pretty quiet and yet, often overlooked for actually being pretty amazing of a basketball player. And
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So how much do people prefer that they stay quiet because you liked them for that in the first place? How many people think they should be noisier, which really would be kind of like a Kevin Durant, who used to be quiet and then started saying, why aren't I in the GOAT debate? So that didn't help Kevin Durant at all. And then the third, do you think it hurts them? Just generally speaking, do you think it actually hinders them being in the GOAT debate by staying quiet? You go first, and we'll see what other people have to say.
Yeah, well, I think as far as and these are great questions also, and I think Tim Duncan is an interesting player in NBA's history. I think ultimately Tim Duncan's greatest strength is his greatest weakness, and what do I mean by that? I think when you think about Tim Duncan, or at least this is for me, I guess, how I think about Tim Duncan as far as like why I would never consider him the greatest player of all time, or in the conversation for like the greatest player of all time. But he's, to me, absolutely a top 10 player easily of all time, is that Tim Duncan's greatest strength is his longevity, right? And his ability to remain consistently great for a long, long time. But not only that, his quiet leadership, like you just mentioned, and his ability to be consistently great on both sides of the ball and galvanize the people around him, right? Really, truly make players around him better. Like I said, the players he played with, we always acknowledge the Manu Ginobili's and the Tony Parkers, absolutely, as great players. But let's be real, they're greater because of Tim Duncan. And once again, his steady leadership and his steady, consistent play. The fundamentals of Tim Duncan, the overall game and skills of Tim Duncan. But ultimately, that longevity is not the same as Tim Duncan having, to me, the ultimate peaks, or to me having that really high level at certain points in times. So when you talk about someone like a Kevin Garnett, for example, to me, this is almost comparable to the Charles Barkley, Karl Malone type debates, except for Karl Malone and Charles Barkley are lacking the championships in a Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan scenario. But when you talk about, to me, the peak and what Kevin Garnett could do at the highest of levels, he seemed to me to be more dynamic than a Tim Duncan. The rebounding, the shot blocking, the playmaking, the handling, the ball handling ability of Kevin Garnett, the athleticism, his ability to get up and down the court, his jumping ability, his tenacity, his aggression, all of these things to me seem to be at a higher level. But at the same time, he was never able to sustain that kind of greatness and really promote or push forward the guys around him. We can argue about the people that they had or didn't have, but we can also talk about, like I said, his ability or lack of ability to maintain that level of greatness. To me, Tim Duncan, like I said, was never that level to the highest level where he's not leading the league in reboundings or shot blocking or scoring or anything like that. But at the same time, he's always there, and you can't get past this dude. So to me, Tim Duncan is absolutely, like I said, I don't think we debate him as the greatest power forward. Like I said, there are other guys that we could maybe say are, there or the second or whatever. But Tim Duncan seems to have gotten that sewn up. I think that in and of itself speaks to the respect and the greatness of Tim Duncan when people don't really even question your greatness at your position.
And Jimmy James, right as you were finishing, put up a pretty good comment. LeBron has a hard time playing with others. You could plug in Duncan to a winning team and he will be successful. Well, it's because his number one desire is to win, not to self-glorify. And I know some people be like, what do you mean? LeBron's won in multiple locations. Not organically. I mean, he's put all of those organizations through hell, jumping around, trying to move pieces to where it finally made him look better.
You see my man, we got Tariq in the house here, and he said, wait, Tim Duncan never led the league in blocks. Let me fact check that. My man, listen to me. When I speak to you, I'm out here giving you the facts. That's what I'm giving you. So Tariq, you keep coming here, and I know why you're coming here, for the facts. So stop trying to act like, oh my God, what are you talking? I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you off the top of your head, you usually know your shit.
Yeah, see, look, we got it. What did he say? Robin, you're right. You know I'm right. This is why I'm here, man. Listen, when I tell people all the time, I'm not out here just giving you these narratives and lies. I'm giving you factual perspective. I'm giving you the facts, man. I don't have to make up stories. I was not saying that Tim Duncan didn't lead the league in blocks or rebounds to take away from Tim Duncan. That wasn't the point that I was trying to say there. What I was highlighting is what I was mentioning. His greatness for a long period of time. It wasn't necessarily his peak and what he was dynamic at that made him great. That's why he was called the big fundamental.
Someone else pointed out how many people are in the greatest of all time conversation, and point taken. I'm not saying that Tim Duncan is in the debate for the greatest of all time. Like it's Jordan for me. So I don't really even have that conversation, but it's when somebody who doesn't deserve that kind of praise gets it all the time that you start looking at other people and say, well, if you're going to glorify this person, then look at who you're ignoring. I think that's the inspiration for me. The real Siberius with another super says self-aggrandizing is weakness seeking validation. Yeah, just repeat that 100 times, everybody. Seriously. It's better to remain quiet and let others think you a fool than open your mouth and remove all doubt. Yeah, that's a famous quote, and I can't say who the originator is off the top of my head, even though I feel like I read it recently, but it's a great one. You remove all doubt when you open your mouth. We put ourselves at risk coming on here, going live. I definitely put myself at risk.
Right. I tell you guys, man, I'm giving you the facts here. I'm giving you me, man. There's no reason for me to make up a story or a scenario or any of this kinds of stuff. I'm telling you guys what I witnessed. I'm telling you guys the facts here. I'm giving you the true story. These guys are rewriting history. It's insane. Like I said, that we even can talk about this stuff and how this is actually reality right now. How they actually try to rewrite history. And like I said, to me, it really started, hardcore back with The Last Dance. When The Last Dance came out and Michael Jordan, that stuff came out, and then you had Scottie Pippen on top of that trying to promote his book, it was a perfect storm, man. It was a perfect storm. Everything started coming up, and I was listening to this stuff, and I'm like, what the hell are these people talking about? It does have nothing to do with me playing in the NBA, because this is where we're going now. I'm starting to see a lot of, and maybe you guys have seen it too, I don't know, but I'm starting to see a lot of these NBA players, these ex-NBA players on their podcasts, talking about how they come down to the streets and bust down regular people and how, we'll go down there and play these guys and we'll destroy these guys. We'll go down to the park right now and dominate. I'll go down to a rec league and shut it down. And they're talking as if we're out here saying that we're more skilled than them, that we can go out there and do what they do. I keep trying to remind people what we're doing as fans. Once again, we're comparing them to their contemporaries. None of us are talking about us on the basketball court alongside these gentlemen. No one's saying this. I've never put myself alongside them on the basketball court, man. Never once said I could beat LeBron James, this or that. We've never talked about this. Fans are not talking about that. That's not the perspective that we're coming from. Once again, if someone asks you right now, hey, man, do you have a preference of what doctor you want to take your kids to? Are you going to say, yeah, take them to anyone? No, you're going to give them a preference to a doctor that you prefer, that you think is a good doctor, right? Does that mean that you could do the operations and all the procedures and check on kids better than the other doctors that you're not referring to, or that you don't think are as good or are not good doctors? No, you're giving your opinion based off of the other contemporaries, the other doctors in the area, man. This is getting insane right now.
We have our first caller of the day, Jimmy James. Jimmy, you are on. You can speak.
Shout out to Jimmy James.
Make noise, Jimmy.
Hold on. Sorry, I was on mute. Boomer moment.
There you go.
Yeah, so I think the main thing about LeBron, I think his biggest strike against him is his uncoachability. Like thing about Duncan is, how many coaches did he play for his entire career?
Yep.
Just one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he let an example for the team of like letting Popovich coach him and be hard on him. You know, that like went, the other teammates got to see that. Like LeBron does not have that. Jordan had that too. That was another thing. You know, that's why he's clearly, I mean, aside from many reasons, that's why he's way ahead of him. But LeBron has played for like what, 9 coaches or something.
A lot, man. Played for a lot of coaches.
Yeah, a lot. And
just in LA.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And he can't. I don't know. He just doesn't seem like he sets an example for the team, like how to for the rest of the guys to be like, oh, this guy is like a top dude in the league, and he's letting the coach be super hard on him, like Duncan.
It gets super complicated when you think about the fact that Eric Spoelstra, who's now recognized as a great coach and actually had success with LeBron and Wade and such in Miami, LeBron tried to get rid of him, you know. And what if Miami had agreed and brought in another coach? Maybe Miami never wins anything. And let's go to the other. You talked about how many coaches Tim Duncan played for, and people think about Popovich as a staple in San Antonio. Would the same thing have happened with LeBron in San Antonio? Would they have been trying to put someone like Popovich on the chopping block to appease LeBron James?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I had, though. I'll let you guys.
All right, Jimmy.
All
appreciate you coming in.
Yo, great comments, my man Jimmy James, are coming through. Right on the money. Coachability, man. LeBron James, not coachable.
We got somebody's noisy as shit in the background. I can't tell who it is, but
bring him in.
D is next. D, what's on your mind?
Yo, D, what up?
Yo, what up, y'all? About the first time I really called in and FaceTime with you guys. I really appreciate all the hard work y'all put in. I got my Dennis Rodman tee on, representing,
nice.
You know,
like
the Bulls shirt, Bulls shorts. All right, but anyways, I have a good question about the narrative around assists, which obviously is used highly for LeBron's benefit, right? So I'm 30 years old, just to let you guys know that. Off the history of the game that I've seen, most of the guys that have led the league in assists or have been known for their playmaking, outside of Magic, not many of them have been successful as far as dominating the game and winning over and over again. To the point where it's like, okay, like I know Jason Kidd was very good at that. Didn't win very much, obviously. We had John Stockton, very good at passing the ball, didn't win very much. Steve Nash didn't win very much, was very good at passing the ball. So it comes down to what I'm asking is why did they get to the point? And obviously I know why, because of LeBron's benefit, but we shouldn't be putting so much stock into guys who can average 10 assists a game, honestly. Because,
especially not today.
Yeah, because you see Trae Young, he can average 10 assists. James Harden, he can average 10 assists. Russell Westbrook, he can average 10 assists. But where are the results? We care about winning at the end of the day. So I was just wondering, when are we going to stop putting so much stock into how many assists dudes average when it's not ending in winning, which is what the game is about.
I'll tell you when we have somebody worth cheering for and winning becomes the number one priority again because that person is actually winning. The reason that we aren't looking at winning first is because the guy that the league crowned isn't a winner. So you have to look at the other
Exactly.
shit. You don't have any choice.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long are we going to spend talking about LeBron winning when the only thing he's fucking done in LA, and by the way, his career in LA now is almost as long as a lot of people's entire careers, and
Hmm.
all he's got is the bubble chip, which
Yeah.
Anthony
Because
Davis delivered.
oh my goodness, and AD didn't have to lead the league in assists to have the Lakers where they were that whole season, and he was
Nice.
clearly the best player on the team.
Hey, where are
Yo,
you calling from?
I'm calling from. I live in Palm Springs, California.
What do you play pickup ball?
Oh yeah, I play almost every morning at 24-hour fitness. Got a good
What?
group of guys we play.
Okay, so is it quality ball? I mean, are you playing LeBron James rules? Are you playing old school rules, or is it a mix? Is it a confusing mix?
It's more old school because ever since I got there, like I was obviously bringing more of an aspect that guys aren't used to, where I'm using the mid range, I'm using my left hand, I'm getting to the rack, I'm passing when I have I'm passing when it's necessary, not because I want to look like I'm a Steve Nash out here, LeBron James, pass first guy. Like no, like once I get to that point where the defense is starting to commit to my moves because of how aggressive I've been, then somebody's wide open and I pass the ball. And if I want to shoot threes, I can, but I'd rather get a good look
You hear
before
this, Robin?
anything. And then playing defense is another thing that they started adapting to. Like, oh man, like if I shoot the ball, it's to a point now where they're like, oh, I have to box this guy out because I follow my shot no matter what. So it kind of makes everybody play better since I've been around.
Nice. A 30-year-old is representing old school, Robin. How old does that fucking make me?
And we
Jesus.
don't call fouls. Let the
All right.
defense call it for you. If they don't call it for you, just play on.
yo, much respect to my man D. And you made some great points when you brought up some of the point guard play, and you mentioned some of the assists and how we think about this stuff. And see, and that's the problem because, like you said, how they're talking about the assists. But when you mention the point guards, and let's talk about guards in general, and you know how we talk about Michael Jordan, how he changed the game, right? How did Michael Jordan change the game, man? Because the things that he was able to do as a guard to impact winning without having a dominant big man down low. You know, shout out to someone like Isaiah Thomas. We think about Isaiah Thomas as a point guard who was out there able to lead a team to back-to-back championships. You know, but when we talk about Isaiah Thomas and his overall team, man, his team was really, really good. That's why someone
Mhm.
like Joe Dumars would capture a Finals MVP in 1989. But if you go all the way back to the beginning of basketball, it was guys like George Mikan that were dominating the game, the Bob Pettits, the Bill Russells, the Will Chamberlains, right? You know, those guys were dominating the game. It wasn't Oscar Robertson or Bob Cousy or Jerry West. A lot of guys couldn't win. They had a dominant big man. You know, you talked about Magic Johnson. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, was there to assist Magic Johnson and help him run, you know, that Showtime Lakers. So a lot of those point guards, the John Stocktons with Karl Malone, he was stopped by Michael Jordan. He was right there to get a championship, but he was never able to capture a championship. Well, not in the 90s anyways, as a leader.
Hey D, that was a great call. We appreciate you being
Yeah,
here.
good. That was good.
I'm going to keep going because we've got a lot of callers waiting. But I do want to read a super from Xavier to God. LBJ wanted Pat to coach. He would have left earlier. Yeah, you be careful what you want. I don't think you did want Pat to coach.
For real.
Talk about not knowing the history of the game.
That wouldn't have worked out
Did
good.
you look into Pat Riley at all?
Exactly.
Let's see. Mike. Oh, Mike, you keep dropping in and out. And who else? Someone else just dropped out.
Oh, Kobe. I thought I saw Kobe.
Yeah, Kobif just dropped out. Kobif, we're getting to you if you want to try again. Mike. Oh, and Mike, I literally clicked on you and you dropped out. We have Terrence. Terrence.
Yo, what up, y'all?
Hello, Terrence.
I was good.
Hey, yeah, I just came in here to talk about one thing that really maybe that's got me hot with LeBron is the way that he done started. You know, no winning don't even matter no more. Like Kobe and Michael Jordan, winning was everything.
Yep.
Now all these little kids, like my girl's daughter, she goes to track meet. She's like, winning isn't everything. I'm like, well, since when? They giving out, everybody gets a medal now. I'm like, why is everybody getting a participation medal? Like, when did this start? It was either a winner, yeah, first place, second place, third place. Now it's 1 through 8. I'm like, what? So I don't even have to do good to. I might well go out there. I guess give me a couple trophies. I don't know. You know, it's ridiculous how this world is now.
Yo, word,
That's all I
Terrence,
wanted to say,
shout
though.
to you, man.
I appreciate
Shout to you for coming
that.
through for real. I'm right there with you, man. Like I said, I coach a lot of these young kids, and I always try to coach the effort. I'm always trying to coach the kids, man.
Yeah.
Go out there and give some effort. Don't go out there and lollygag. You know, sometimes the parents are
Mhm.
okay with the kids is going out there and just being out there.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you gotta go out there and,
Yeah.
and give some effort, man. Look alive out there and put some pep in the step, move with some gusto.
Yeah, they out there telling people it's all right. Just go out there and have fun. No, I want to win too. I don't want to just have fun. I remember how mad I used to be when I used to play anything. I used to be sweating all over the place. They'd be like, "Dang, you playing hard." I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to win. I don't care if we playing pickup. I don't care if we playing. I don't care if we throwing quarters against the wall. I want to win. I don't
You know
care
what
what
really,
it is.
you know what really
Word.
stands out to me about what you said, Terrence, is that it was the person who lost saying the quote, "Winning isn't everything," and this just shows that it's
Right?
become an excuse now.
Yep.
It used to be
Mhm.
you were getting comforted in being told winning isn't everything. Now the person losing is announcing to the world that winning isn't everything. And I actually kind
Yeah.
of I think participation might actually be more important than winning, because I don't like kids that won't play at all because they're afraid of losing. You know, you got to go out there and compete. Competing is the most important thing. And of course you want to win. But when you have on standby your excuse, winning isn't everything, then it's just destroyed what that was meant for. That was meant to encourage people to keep trying, not that
Yeah.
lollygagging around was an accepted approach to playing sports.
Yep. Word.
Yeah.
Thank you,
For real.
Terrence. Unless you got more.
All right. Oh no,
Cool,
y'all
man.
all right? Y'all go ahead. I'm over here in this van hot. I ain't got no AC in my Amazon van today.
Good
So
luck with
I'm
that.
trying to get up out of here.
Yeah. All right. And Pluto living. Pluto
Can y'all hear me?
can hear you. Yes.
All right. My biggest thing is I don't think really be said enough for LeBron fans understand a lot. It's like I don't think people give Jordan the enough credit of really taking what he got around him and really helping him better to win. It's probably one of the most impressive things I think I've ever seen in NBA history.
How old are you, real quick? If you
I was
don't mind.
born in '94, so I was more of a Kobe fan. I had to go back and do my research on Jordan.
Word.
Well, credit to you for doing that.
Yo, for real. Shout to my man Pluto Living for coming through.
Now, did you go through? Did you actually get swayed by the idea that Jordan had super teams before you did your research, or did you always have it figured out that no, Jordan pretty much played with draftees?
I actually didn't used to like look at Jordan like that because I was so much of a Kobe fan. My second home, Chicago, and a lot of my family members always tell me like, yeah, Kobe's nice, but he got all his moves from this guy. And I was like, oh, he's old news. He ain't nothing, you know. But my uncle used to always go to the games. He had like live footage, watch him run up and down the court. And like, Jordan was almost like, I would have thought he was doing P. thought he doing P. Like, I would have thought he was doing, because he was so different, but he didn't have like a physical advantage on nobody. He was just better than everybody. Like, but the way he got in Scotty, made Scotty tougher. Like, you go back and watch the Pistons, like, yeah, they attacked Jordan more, but the one really getting abused and you could tell was really dawning on him was Pimpin. You could tell. They was beating his ass. Like, I didn't mean to cuss, but
You good, man?
I just seen more of, I don't see that from LeBron. There's not one player his whole cross seen his whole career. There's not one player that he helped develop and go win, like help him win. Everything's about him. I mean, I don't care about him being this little kid from Akron, bro. Like, you didn't grow up like gang banging. Like, you didn't grow up like that. You know what I'm saying? You went somewhere that they helped you play basketball. You was already known around the nation at like 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you didn't have that hard life. You want to keep kicking. Like it's okay, bro. Like play basketball, and then when you play basketball, you pouting on the court. He's 40 years old, man, on the court playing peekaboo.
Word.
Thank you.
Like
Word.
has this like people's role model. Like I got sons. I don't tell my son to make excuses. You get back up and keep trying. You got to figure it out. You don't sit there and make excuses and want people to cuddle you. That's just the way I think.
Now, you being a Kobe person, do you remember that little window in history when they actually tried to say Kobe was or might be better than Jordan?
Yeah.
You do? Okay,
Yeah.
so it happened. I'm just
Yeah.
making sure I'm not crazy.
They were
I
saying
remember
Kobe was like he like what's they want to say intensified Michael Jordan's moves. Like everything y'all think y'all can stop, think y'all seen Jordan before, but no, I got something extra for you. Plus, he was playing in the West in the early 2000s, called the insufficient era, the dead ball zone. My, I don't know, like averaging 35. That's got to be one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life too. It's just me.
Pluto, we appreciate the call, man. That was good stuff.
Yo, that was
Y'all
some
too.
great stuff right there, man. Thank you very much for coming through and
got
talking about lifting up the people around him that he was talking about with Michael Jordan. You know, like I said, to recognize those kinds of things. You know, because I remember, like I said, when we was growing up, people used to marvel at the players that the Bulls were playing with, that they were winning championships with. Yeah, you had Michael Jordan, you had Scottie Pippen there. We get all this stuff, man. But a lot of these other guys were journeymen. A lot of these guys were role players, man. And like I said, that was never a negative. Those guys played their role, man, and we respected them for going out there and playing their role. But these were not household names. People did not know these guys. That's what a lot of people talked about.
Let's and shout out to the young guys coming through, giving us hope that it's not all is lost. I know you guys don't consider yourselves young, but you are compared to me. Before we get to Mike Lowry and Haas are waiting, and then I'm going to have to go. But Mrs. Shanny or Mr. Shanny says, I think Uncommon Sense said it best that a pass first player is someone whose assists lead to more points than their personal scoring. Hey, yeah, that's a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah, once again, shout out to Uncommon Sense. Thank you for Mr. Shanny for coming through. I remember watching that video when he said that.
And Mike Lowry, you are here. Mike, I am going to jump to Haas since I think you walked out of the room.
Yeah.
Haas, here you are.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, salute to you boys. Couple things to say. First, just coming off what Pluto Living was saying. Just about what Pluto Living was saying about Kobe and Mike. There's something that's not discussed very much. I want to bring it up, put it on the table. Is that one advantage that Kobe had? Well, let me before I say this, let me say the reason that Mike respected Kobe and actually befriended Kobe, and was genuine friends with Kobe, not fake, genuine friends with Kobe. The reason that happened is because Kobe approached him with genuine love, respect, and admiration. Compare that to the way LeBron sort of quote unquote approached Jordan when he entered the league, stealing his number, stealing his powder toss, trying to one up him every time, like a jealous, insecure high school teenage girl mentality. Once again, let me repeat that: jealous, insecure, teenage high school girl mentality. That's what LeBron James has. Kobe Bryant had a man's mentality where if he wanted to approach another man, he did it with love, admiration, and respect. And that's why Jordan loved Kobe Bryant. And that's why when Kobe asked Jordan to help him with his moves, that's why Jordan agreed to do it. Because even though Jordan knew that Kobe was going to benefit and be compared to him and stuff, Jordan was okay with that because he respected Kobe, because Kobe respected him. And one more thing on that topic, which is Kobe had an advantage because he could put some film in and watch Michael Jordan's moves and then spend the whole offseason practicing those moves. Okay? Whereas Michael Jordan, when he came in the league and he finessed those moves and honed them into a science, I'm trying to think of someone who Michael Jordan watched who performed that kind of footwork, that kind of post game, that kind of fall away, that kind of like 2 and 3 pivots to get get your angle in the lane. I'm telling you, I can't think of a single guy before Jordan who perfected the footwork and the moves on offense the way Jordan did. So Jordan invented most of those moves, whereas Kobe Bryant simply replicated what Jordan had already done. Now, Hakeem Olajuwon also did some of that stuff in the post, but that was concurrent with Jordan. So Hakeem was not before or after Jordan. They were in the same draft class. So Jordan invented a lot of these moves. Like Hakeem Olajuwon invented the dream shake, but Jordan never really used the dream shake. That was more of a deep post move like the Hakeem patented. But Jordan patented not just one move, but like 10 other type of moves. And I'd never seen anyone do that before. So Jordan gets extra credit for inventing all this stuff, whereas Kobe just replicated and copied it.
Good shit, Haas. Yeah, and you know, what was that recent crap that came out? Again, it was LeBron James saying it himself just to get people talking about it, but he was going to have a relationship with Michael Jordan after he retired or something like that. No, you're not.
No, you're definitely not.
But, you know, LeBron should have been trying to go to Kobe for mentorship.
Facts.
LeBron had Kobe there.
Facts.
Did he go to Kobe?
Never.
There we go.
And then AOH. And then after Kobe dies, LeBron has the unmitigated gall to sit out there and say like he was best friends with Kobe Bryant when he was alive.
Yeah.
That was disgusting. I about punched my TV screen when I saw LeBron sit up and say that he was best friends with Kobe Bryant when he was alive. You ain't friends with Kobe. You ain't even close to being friends. You never talked to Kobe in your life, LeBron James. Sit your ass down.
That man cannot stop lying. He can't stop lying.
Yo, shout out to my man Haas for coming through with the energy as always, and always got some good, interesting things to say. Yeah, you talked about the relation, man. You're right on the money, man. It's all about the respect. That's what it is. When you talk about an adult, you mentioned the term grown up, a grown man. What do grown men do? What do grown-ups do? You earn the respect of other grown-ups around you. You earn the respect. So that's what Kobe Bryant did, like you said. He went out there and earned Michael Jordan's respect by being a competitor. Remember what they were talking about in the All-Star game, man? Before the All-Star game, they were all talking in the locker room. They were like, yeah, man, that young boy from the Lakers is going to come out here and try to go one-on-one with everybody. They understood what he was about from the start. They knew he wasn't playing no games.
And one of my favorite clips of all time, one of my most favorite clips of all time. Yeah, Robin, you right on the money. But one of my favorite clips of all time is when Jordan was like over 40 years old. He was with the Washington Wizards, and Kobe tried to put a move on him and take him off the dribble. And Jordan stepped in front of him and drew the charge. And Kobe's just, I can't beat this guy. And Kobe starts punching him in the chest. And then all the fans start looking like, holy shit, what's Kobe doing? And then he helps Jordan up, and they have a hug or whatever, and they start laughing. Kobe starts laughing. I can't beat this guy. I try to get past him. He takes a charge.
Competitors, baby.
That's a great moment, man. That's a great moment.
Thanks as usual, Haas. It's always good having you here. We got to get to Mike Lowry, and then I have to bounce. But real quick, we have a Kevin Durant burner account, apparently, letting us know that Luke Longley was the most skilled center of the 90s.
Yes, he was.
Kevin Durant burner accounts dropping facts.
That's right.
Boy, Jordan and his super teams.
That's right.
Can anyone, I looked it up, so I know the answer. Can anyone off the top of their head tell me what Luke Longley did the season after Jordan retired? I'm going to answer for you. No, you can't. Mike Lowry, you're on. What's up? Mike, you are here.
Mike, what
you
up?
are with us.
Hey, fellas.
Hello,
I
Mike.
can't hear. I can't hear. I can't see. Oh man,
We can
That's
hear
that's
I'm
you.
having old head moment.
We can hear him. Just
all
go.
right. Well, we got another super. You want to read this one for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to LH7 for coming through. Bron Hall of Fame teammates starting five: Kyrie, Wade, Love, AD, and Bosh. Off the bench: Rondo, Russ, Allen, Melo, and Dwight. Who had more help than? Remember, when you break it down like that, it's really crazy how LeBron James fans spend so much time worrying about everyone else's teammates when you look at the kind of talent and the level of help that LeBron James has played with throughout his career. It's laughable for anyone to say this man needs more help.
McZuggin says losing is incentivized. Yeah, I saw the Onion put out a post saying that therapists recommend people just go complain, go start a career complaining.
That's it.
Praise the Dawn said LeBron had something to do with Kobe's death. A few people have said that. I don't know how we would ever prove it, but I got to say, I can't say I'd be shocked if they proved it. That's pretty mean, but I can't say I'd be shocked. And why do I say that? Why do I say that? Because LeBron James has shown throughout his entire career that he puts himself above all else at the expense of others. It's not just that he puts himself above all else, which is already a disturbing quality in a person.
Yep.
He does it at the expense of others. So why exactly would we be shocked to find out that, I need to get this roadblock out of my legacy debate. I need to get rid of this. McZuggin says they want us to watch All-Star, but it's like, why? So
yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. Why?
But he's literally quoting that dipshit that we were reacting to. I already forgot that nobody's name. Who was that dipshit that was on a podcast complaining about the All-Star game?
Jabari Smith Jr.
Right. Jabari. You fucking nobody.
But why?
But why?
But why? I'd rather get my nails done.
Who's going to motivate me to be a man?
I'd rather go get a new purse and find some lip gloss to carry in it.
People want me to be a man, but why?
Why? Why do I have to do anything? Why? They already paid me all this money, so why give effort?
I'm supposed to pee on my own, but why?
That's funny, man.
Pluto Living gives a super. This is who was just on, I believe. Read that if you would.
Yeah. Shout out to Pluto Living for coming through, for contributing and calling in. Scoring titles are so hard to achieve. Most guys was not scoring later on the high school team. Scoring titles are so hard to achieve. Most guys are not able to get these things, man. Yeah, we talk about the scoring titles of Michael Jordan, man. I mean, it's essentially like 10 straight scoring titles.
We tired, bro. Hey, Philosopher Stone.
Shout out to Uncut Hoops.
Philosopher, you're about to come on.
Yo, what up, y'all?
All right.
How y'all doing?
What's up? What is on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, if you look at the first 6-7 years of LeBron, Jordan, Kobe's careers, it tells you damn near everything you need to know on the issues with them in the GOAT conversation.
Yep.
And it's really simple. I mean, when you break it down, Jordan, I think in his 7th year is when he got his first ring. And before that, he had every individual accolade you could ever want or dream of in the basketball world. All he was missing was winning, and he got it. That's why he's the GOAT. And then when he got it, he never lost. Well, he did lose, but that was when he came back and he gained all that weight from playing baseball. Anyway, I digress. Move on to Kobe, right? Kobe gets all the winning early in his career. 3 championships in a row by the time he's 24, I believe. Crazy, right?
That was crazy.
And so that's why he was compared to Michael Jordan. It was not because of individual accolades at that point in his career, because he was ascending while he was winning. And then when he won those other 2 rings in a row, that's when he entered the pantheon of goathood, I guess you could say, because he proved I can do it myself, quote unquote. And he turned Paul Gasol, who had never won any playoff game up to that point, into a champion and an all-star and potentially a Hall of Famer. Moving on to LeBron James. The issue with LeBron James, okay, he had a chance to be called the GOAT early in his career, because if you look at his, because I'm gonna give him some grace here, okay? His first season, they don't make the playoffs, but I'm gonna blame that a little bit on Ricky Davis, because Ricky Davis was probably the most talented player besides LeBron James on that team. He was if he hadn't been an all-star to that point, he was an all-star around that point, like right after that or right before that. But the issue was he wasn't buying into LeBron James, just like none of the other players were buying into LeBron James, probably because he was a dickhead, because he was this was like when he was super young. So he was probably, anyways. Then the second year, they don't make the playoffs again. I'm not gonna give him grace on that. Problems with Team USA. Problems with now, mind you, his numbers look are starting to look like Michael's by his third year, because his numbers just jumped up. He made a jump. He was balling. But the problem is, by the time that he got to some of his most prime years, around the end of that 6-7 year time frame, is when all his biggest problems happened. You got the 07, 08, 08, 09, 09, 010. Fucking, oh, I'm sorry, pardon my French. Terrible for him. Terrible for him, because he had the team to win and he didn't do it. It was his career arc of him supposed to be matching Jordan. If he had won when he was winning those MVPs back to back, then maybe we could talk about GOAT, but he didn't do it. And then to make matters worse, he goes to Miami and he loses the first year when everybody thought he was going to win.
Hmm.
This is the perfect microcosm of who these people are. This is why LeBron James can never be the GOAT. You can't go back in time and fix the issues. This is not a movie. We don't get to play rewind. And that's like the LeBron James fanboy is gonna be mad, but this is some real shit. I can't change it. I can't mix it up. I'm giving you real spill. I can't lie to you and make it look fly to you. That's it, man.
Appreciate it. That was good stuff, Philosopher Stone.
Yo, for real.
Thanks
Shout
for
to
calling in.
Philosopher Stone.
Night. Robin, are you gone?
No, I'm right here. My fault.
Did you want to respond to that? I can't stay on much longer, but do you want to respond to that? Because it was a good call.
No, absolutely. That was a great point that he's talking about. We talked about the overall careers, and he's talking about the initial years, and that was what we were saying. Like, when LeBron James had an opportunity to be Jordan-esque, to have that opportunity to go through that grind that we always allude to, that's what he ran from. Like he was saying, those were the years: 08, 09, 2010. That area right there, that was supposed to be LeBron James going through his 88, his 89, his 1990 growing pains. He had to find out and figure out a way. I keep telling people all the time, when Kobe Bryant lost in 2008, he called Michael Jordan up and he was like, yo, man, how do I get past the Boston Celtics? What do I do? I don't know how to beat these guys, man. What am I going to do? I need some help, essentially, he's saying. Help me, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan told him to figure it out. He said, yo, figure it out, man. You do what you got to do. And Kobe Bryant figured it out, because that's what Michael Jordan had to do. He had to figure it out. He didn't bail out. That's what Kevin Durant didn't do. He didn't figure it out. Why am I not winning with Russell Westbrook? Why am I not winning with the team that I have around me that's very talented? Why did we blow a 3-1 lead? He didn't look at himself and put the ownership on himself. He started listening to the people around him. Yo, man, you need to get a championship, but you're not going to win with Russell Westbrook. He started drinking the Kool-Aid. You're a basketball god. You need to go someplace else. You need to go have fun and play basketball. Blah, 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 blah. No, you got to earn it, you fools.
So Night Baller with a super chat says, Jordan says he doesn't consider himself the GOAT because he never had the chance to play against Wilt, Jerry, Cousy, Bill, and all the other past legends. And that's the right thing to say. Even if Jordan actually considered himself the GOAT at that time, that's just logical. It's like, you know what? Did I prove myself against these legends? I did not. So it's up to you guys to decide who the GOAT is. That's the proper response. Robin, are you okay for a few minutes? I'm going to let Andrew come on and while I take care of some business. What's up, Andrew?
How's it going, guys?
What's up, man?
No, I'll be real quick. I know you guys gotta go, but essentially, I wanted to know what you guys thought about how the NBA. I mean, pretty much, I grew up kind of 2010s. Like I'm a younger guy, but I'm still a definitely not a LeBron guy. Definitely a Jordan and Kobe guy. But essentially, all like the All NBA guys used to show up on the all defensive teams like Kobe, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, like, you know, and then kind of midway late 2010s or I don't, you know, at some point I started to see like essentially only defensive specialists on the defensive teams and not kind of, you know, the great two-way players. I'm like, dude, like, you know, how can these guys be considered so good if they're not good on both sides of the ball? It's like 50% of the game. So, and if you guys think LeBron had a big part to do with that, because, I mean, after he left Miami, he stopped playing defense. And then, you know, they were still saying he's the best guy in the league when he was on Cleveland that second stint, but dude's playing no defense.
Yo, Andrew D, absolutely. Thank you for calling in. This is a great question. And you have a great point here. We've noticed, especially over like the last 5 or 6 years or so, we've noticed a complete, like you said, lack of effort and a lack of really consistency from the great players, like you mentioned, the all-NBA performers, and how they really don't really care to play defense anymore. So like you said, now it's kind of fallen on specialists to play defense. Guys don't really take the pride anymore. It's like the A2 games. You know, I did a video not that long ago talking about how the MVP winners, the really great players over the last 5, 6 years or so, right? 10 years, those guys that are getting the MVP awards, they're not showing up every single night. They're missing 10, 15, 20 games sometimes before, remember, this is before they had a minimum on these guys. These guys were missing a lot of games. Back in the day, the great players always showed up every single night. So you're absolutely on the money when you talk about not only did those guys show up, but they gave effort on both sides of the ball because they took pride in being great on both sides. Now, like you said, the guys don't really give that same effort on both sides.
Yeah, no, it's turning into a bad product.
That's you're right. That's why a lot of the great players that are actually good on great on both sides, they stand out more. Someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo, the things that he can do on both sides of the ball. Even someone like Joel Embiid, to a lesser degree. The problem with Joel Embiid is that he can't do those things on both sides of the ball consistently. He can't play back-to-back games, right? He's always missing a lot of games. So you're a great player, but you're never on the court. You know, that's a problem for a lot of these guys. So when you combine all of that stuff, also with the three-point shooting that's gotten out of hand, this is why the NBA is where it is today.
Yep.
Andrew, thank you for calling in. Thanks everybody, the callers and the super chats and all the other comments really made the show. You guys' support is always really important to us, and we'll look into doing the old man podcast. And one last super, angry old rants. Roland Curtis says Peekaboo Braun is a pathetic disgrace to the NBA. That sounds like a good note to end the show on.
Absolutely, man. Once again, AOH, man, it's been a pleasure doing another Sunday live with you. Shout out to all you guys, like I said, that continue to support our lives. You know, we've been trying to get some of the crew to come back. You know, everybody's got things going on. But me and AOH, we try to be consistent and we try to be there for you guys and do these lives. And man, like I said, it matters a lot. So we really appreciate the support. My man Nazar, continue to have a great rest of your day, man. Everybody else, enjoy the rest of their Sunday. And you guys know the deal, man. Catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, which will be Wednesday. See everybody.